Hey everyone, it's Steph. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about books that feature characters who have some sort of disfigurement, either from birth or something that they received in an injury of some kind. Let's see how many of them you've read, and maybe some that will give you some new things to check out. So first we're going to talk about a few classic books. So we have The Secret Garden. If you're familiar with the story of The Secret Garden, this is about Mary Lennox moving from India to her uncle's home in England. And she finds out when she arrives to her uncle's home that her uncle has a hunch on his back. There's concern of whether his son Colin has the same deformity that will affect his life and his longevity. So that's something that is talked about a lot, and also something that kind of spurs a healing journey of sorts, which is such a great story. I love the story of The Secret Garden and had to include that on this list. Next up, we have Phantom of the Opera. If you're familiar with the Phantom of the Opera, you know that the Phantom wears a mask over half of his face, and if you have seen the show or have seen a movie version, you know that underneath this mask, he is very disfigured. There are different degrees of this depending on the makeup artist and the hairstylist for the show, but essentially, he has been deformed from the top of his hairline all the way down to like his jawline, and there is deformity along that area. In the Gothic novel, there's a little bit more detail, a little bit more drastic and grisly, if I recall correctly, than the musical. But either way, we can see that the Phantom just was born a little bit differently, and that's why he appears differently underneath the mask. So that had to be included on this list. Next up is not a book that I've read, but I'm familiar with the story from the movie version, is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. We know that the Hunchback has a hunchback, so he's disfigured and treated differently because of that. And what I love about all these stories is that it reminds us that any kind of disfigurement, anybody who just seems a little bit different than us based off of appearance, is of course no different on the inside and has to be treated with dignity and respect like any human being deserves. So it makes you think, and it reminds you the value of the human person, no matter what the outside looks like. So, moving on to some contemporary written fiction that has some disfigured characters. First up, we have Seeking Persephone. This is by Sarah Eden. I love this story, but it is a Regency retelling of the myth of Persephone and Hades. And our Hades character, named Adam in this story, Adam was born without an ear. And due to the different medical practices of the day, he had several surgeries during his childhood where different doctors and surgeons would go searching for this missing ear, thinking it was somehow beneath the surface or somewhere where it wasn't supposed to be, and they could find it and then put it in the spot where it belonged. So what ended up happening is he received a web of scars from all his surgeries and procedures, and that has definitely impacted the way he sees himself and the way he interacts with the world, and certainly how others perceive him. So he is perceived to be very intimidating and very kind of frightening looking, so therefore he has taken on that persona. So it's very interesting to see how that influences his character and his character's journey throughout the course of the story. Next up, we have Miracle Creek Christmas. So while this is seasonal, I think you can read this any time of year. The main male protagonist of this story is a burn victim. So he lives in a small town where everyone knows him, everyone remembers him prior to this burn, and everyone knows the events surrounding this fire that caused the burns. So we get to see what a new character into the town has to do with mixing things up, the dynamic in the town, and changing the way he kind of sees himself and thinks about his future and what's the next step for him moving forward. It's a great story about healing and finding identity and finding a way to make the best out of trying situations. Such a good story. Next up, we have A Beautiful Love, and this is by Megan Walker. This is a short story. I want to say it's under 150 pages, but it's so well written. The main male character in this story is also a burn victim, and we get to see how that has modified the way that he views himself in his future and also his romantic prospects. So for someone he loved and has loved since before his injuries, seeing how he can move forward and find a way to find his own happiness and maybe find true love. So it's a great story, it's a short story, and really well written by Megan Walker. Last but not least, we don't have a character who's specifically disfigured, but just born differently. So we have More Than Meets the Eye by Karen Whitmire. Either way, she does a fantastic job writing this story. It's so well written, but what I really like about this story is that we have a main character who has two different eye colors. While that doesn't seem like a huge deal, because this is in the mid-1800s, this is in an area of a town that's very superstitious. Many people in the town do not want to associate with her, thinking that this is some sort of bad omen or something creepy or somebody to stay away from because she appears different. And it's just such a heartfelt story, and such a sweet story, a great romance, but also a great coming of age and kind of finding your place to belong in the world kind of thing. It's so good. I hope that you enjoyed finding some characters from books that just appear different or have something different, and get to see the humanity within us all, no matter how we appear, and find something to enjoy with these stories. Let me know if you've read any of these in the comments down below, and let me know if there are any that I left out. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a great day!